Hello everyone, good morning. Today we are going to start EVS class 8 chapter number 3, impact of population on environment. We all know that the population of our country is increasing at a very fast rate day by day. India is second in position after China in population. China is the highest populated country in the world and India ranks the second highest. In this chapter, we are going to study about the impact of population on environment. Let us start the chapter. As human population keeps growing steadily, it is a huge challenge to maintain the standards without destroying or disturbing environment. What we are seeing as the population of human beings are increasing at a fast speed, it has become difficult to maintain the living standard without disturbing the ecological balance of nature, without disturbing the balance of the nature, without disturbing the environment. Extensive pressure on natural resources such as water, land, loss of forest, air, water, pollution, degradation of coastlines are common issues that need immediate attention in many parts of the world. It is not that only India is facing this problem, other countries are also facing. Whichever country is having its population increase in population at a fast rate, whichever country's population is increasing and it is getting overpopulated, the pressure is there on the natural resources. Water and land shortages are there. Forest has to be cut down, air and water get polluted, coastline get degraded, and these are such issues that needs immediate attention. If population is controlled, these things can also be controlled. That means degradation of the coastline, shortage of water, shortage of land, cutting down of trees, pollution of air and water, all these problems can be solved to some extent if the population is controlled. On one hand, highly developed countries common resources much faster than they can regenerate them, and on the other hand, with their rapid population growth they need to improve their living standards too. That means the highly developed countries, they consume resources at a much faster rate than they are able to make them, generate them. And on the other hand, with the rapid population growth, they need to improve their living standard also. So, in order to improve the living standard, or we can say when we are improving the living standard, then the resources are utilized, or you can say there is overutilizing of resources. And then what will happen? We will leave nothing for the future. It is told that it is a situation where we are banking on the resources of nature for our sustenance, and at the same time we ourselves are robbing nature's bank of its resources. It is such a situation, at present we are living in such a situation that we are banking on the resources of nature. We are making money on the resources of the nature. We are getting resources from the nature. We are making use of them for our survival, for our sustenance, for living alive. And we are also earning money on them. But at the same time, while we are doing all these, what are we doing? We are robbing nature's bank of its resources. That means we are stealing away, we are taking away the reservoirs of the nature. That means whatever reserves the nature has, that we are taking it away from the nature. Population around the world. Every second, on an average, 5 children are born on this earth. That means every second, each and every second, on an average, 5 children take birth on this earth. And at the same time, in 1 second, every second, 2 persons only die. So there is a difference of 3 persons. That means on an average, 3 children sustain being inhabitants of the planet Earth every second. And India is the second most populated country in the world after China, that I already told you all. So there are many factors which affect the distribution of population all around the world. That means where people will live, where will be the habitat of the people, where more people are living, where more people are dwelling. These all depend on certain geographical factors, economic factors, political factors, religious factors, historic factors, etc. How can we tell about that geographical factors affect the distribution of population? If plains will be there, more cities and towns, population there will be more. Mountains and deserts are less populated because the climatic conditions and landscapes at such places are not favorable for human settlement and retention. So when it will be plain and more cities are there, population is more. But in the mountain areas, desert areas where life is little difficult, people don't like to stay there, and these places are less populated. Economic factors. If the source of income in any city is more, you may have heard people go to different big cities, metropolitan cities, to earn money. So their economic condition becomes good. That means people get more chance of getting job there. The chances of getting job by the people is more in those developed cities and towns, big cities and towns, metropolitan cities and towns. So people go there. Now let us see, the following factors may decide whether an area is suitable for human settlement. Number 1, climatic conditions. If the climatic condition is good, it is favorable for the people, they stay there. Topography, that means whether it is plain land, it is plateau, it is mountain, it is desert, etc. Soil, type of soil, whether they are able to cultivate or not, whether they are able to cultivation of crops or the farming or not. Adequate water supply. If adequate water supply is the proper amount, people will try to stay in that area. Accessibility to different facilities like job, market areas, education, etc. Natural vegetation, that means plants and trees, fruit, vegetable, etc. Job, work requirement or work scope. when there is a more scope of work in an area, in a place, in a city, in a town, the people try to stay there. Transport system, well developed transport system, people will like to stay in that area. Medical facilities, they don't have to go here and there. All facilities they are able to get medical one there, so people will try to stay in that area. Educational, scientific and technological development. If the city or the town is having good institutions, schools, colleges, you must have heard that many students they go from different parts of the country to Kota, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, etc., Jamshedpur, and different parts of the country where there are good schools and colleges, where there are good institutions to get higher education. And when they find possibility, they stay there. If they get job, they stay there. Scientific temperament or scientific development, technological development, similarly, when people find good in favor of them, they stay there. So we can say that the world population is unevenly distributed. It is not distributed everywhere the same. Places which contain many people are called densely populated, and places which contain a few people are called sparsely populated. Sparsely populated places generally have complicated living conditions. It is obvious that more people would like to settle in Asia rather than the polar regions of Antarctica. Population density of an area can be described as the number of people per square kilometer. So this becomes a definition for population density. Population density of an area is described as the number of people per square kilometer. In India, 30 babies are born every minute. Chennai is one of the world's 10 most populated cities, and it is quoted that India adds one Australia every year. That means whatever is the population of Australia, that much people get added every year in India. Next we have effects of population growth on ecosystem. Because of overpopulation, what is the effect on ecosystem? Human beings are dependent on their environment for their habitat and livelihood. All of us, each and every human being is directly or indirectly dependent on the environment for their habitat and for earning money, for living alive, for their means of income. So even a minimal increase in population means corresponding increase in basic needs, creating a stressed environment. And since all of us depend on the nature, on the environment for all our basic needs, if there will be minimum increase in population also, that means that will create a pressure, will create an stress on the environment. And growing needs result in growing consumption and ultimately exploitation of the resources. That means when population will increase, there will be increase in the need of the people. And when there will be increase in the need, that means there is a increase in the consumption. And when there is increase in the consumption, and that consumption, that requirement has been fulfilled, that means how it has been fulfilled? By the exploitation of the resources, by disturbing the entire ecological balance, it has been fulfilled. Hence we can say that the population is the basic unit of the ecosystem. Indiscriminate growth of population has posed the following threats to our environment. These are the threats, these are the problems that we are going to face or we are facing because of the growth of the population. Number one, destruction of biodiversity. Bio means living, diversity means variety. So there is biodiversity means variety of living organisms found on this earth. So because of overpopulation, There will be more and more requirement of land for building houses, for building up schools and colleges, for building up industries, for setting up industries and factories, for providing job to more and more people, more companies and factories has to be set up. In order to fulfill the requirement of the electricity by the growing population, more thermal power plants and hydroelectric power plants has to be set up. And to set up these thermal power plants, hydroelectric power stations or industries, or schools, colleges, house, more land is required. And that land will be obtained by cutting down plants and trees, by deforestation, by cutting down forests. And when we cut down the forest, or when we fill up a lake or a pond and try to build that in that place some building or something, then we are destroying the dwelling place of so many animals, and we are cutting down so many plants and trees. So we are destroying the biodiversity. We are doing destruction of biodiversity. Let us see what has been given in your book. Biodiversity can be defined as the volume and the variety of organisms. I told you the meaning of biodiversity. So, variety of organisms found within a specified geographic region. It is an important concept as far as human beings are concerned, because we depend on other species and ecosystem they create. We depend on different organisms directly or indirectly. We depend on plants, we depend on animals for so many things directly or indirectly. Biodiversity provided food, medicine, natural products, resources through which we derive economic growth, survival factors such as clean water, fresh air, and fertile soil. All these things we get from the biodiversity, whether it is the plant or the animal. So, when we are doing the destruction of biodiversity, indirectly we are doing harm to ourselves. The earth's biological diversity is crucial for the existence of any form of life. However, several human activities like deforestation and pollution of natural habitats are bringing thousands of plants and animal species to the verge of extinction. So because of these activities, so many plants and animals have become extinct, and many of them are on the verge of extinction. We'll do the next part of the chapter another day. Thank you.